the average human being has almost no idea how much they can achieve and accomplish. That's the reality.
Welcome back to Pop Culture Explosion. I'm Michael Maddock, and this is Paul O'Connor over there.
Here at Pop Culture Explosion, we do all the work. We make the dinner, we put it in a silver tray, and we give it to you. And today we have a very special exclusive interview with the directors, producers, writers, the folks that did the coffee runs for the movie Absolution. We have here Joshua Russell, and we have Matthew Robert Perry. Thank you guys very much for coming out here today.
You're good to be here.
Oh yeah, no, it's a nice day, and we had really nothing planned today, so this kind of like worked out for all of us. So tell the reason why we're here. We just want to learn more about your film. Really, the journey from you just had the birth of this child, of this idea, through post-production, and kind of the challenges, the adventure, the rewards that you got from this film. So first, when we begin, could you just tell us a little bit about the history? I mean, how did this happen?
Josh and I, when we were 18, we met, and we wanted to make a film since, I don't know, since we were 21. We've been dying to make a film together. Mm-hmm. Josh has already made quite a few films, and he called me and said, "Hey, do you want to make something?" So it's been how many years in the making?
18, 19 maybe.
19 years in the making?
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we were kind of like, we both were like budding young, like hopeful filmmakers when we met. So
did you guys go to school together, or what school did you guys go to?
Yeah, we went to school together.
In Montana.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's in the movie, that the mystery of the woods, the
exactly.
forest.
Yeah. That's like ever since then. It was like we wanted. I have dreamed of making a film in Montana, in that area, since we went to school out there, and I think Matt was probably the same, and so that was kind of it. Like we were like, well, let's do it, and let's do this one in Montana.
In this school, there was like fear of bears. We were hiking in the mountains. They did like survival training, and so that thread is played right into the movie, because that is like ingrained on our psyche, and it's also one of the things that makes us work well together, because we went through this like super stressful, like
intense,
boot camp style
leadership school.
That really cemented, us being able to work together without strangling each other.
So the school, you learned the leadership skills as well as the art of filmmaking?
Right.
No filmmaking.
No, it was Eastgate was a program that taught leadership through wilderness survival.
Oh, okay.
So it's a semester-long program. So it was a post-high school semester-long program before I went to undergrad. So went and did that. So that's where we met.
Can you give us a brief synopsis of the movie Absolution?
Mm-hmm.
You're up.
Maybe.
And when I say brief, brief as you need.
It's an ensemble, so it's a little bit hard to give sort of anything more than like a log line, but it's about a small town Montana pastor who becomes the subject of a witch hunt, really is what it's about. And it sort of unravels on multiple levels as it continues, as the film sort of unfolds. The plot and sort of the thematic core of the film just kind of unravels.
Everybody ends up lost in the woods. There's gunplay. Right. There's a bear.
I saw a guy with a knife in his leg that looked like that kind of hurt.
There's some painful stuff.
Yeah. So
we had crew members with sticks in their legs.
So you actually stabbed him, or you had a stunt like makeup?
No, it was just like
Okay, I was concerned there for a moment.
We stabbed our Kristen, but
our makeup artist got stabbed in the knee with a stick, just walking through the woods when we were out there. No. Had to go to the hospital and get 10 stitches or something.
Wow.
Well, you did mention minor injuries. Minor injuries.
I mean, you're working, in the woods, so I mean, it could happen.
Yeah.
So what would you say is kind of like the message behind the film? Like, what are you trying to convey to the audience? Or are you leaving it up to them to take away? Or are you trying to give them something?
Global warming.
No, that's seriously?
No, not global warming. That would be good maybe for another film, but this film, I think that's a good question, because that gets to the core of where the idea came from. We decided we wanted to make a film together, and so then we were brainstorming ideas, and I remember I told Matt, like, I want to take a pastor out into the woods and torture him and see what comes out. Like, that was like where I was at.
Like, oh,
That's where I was at. And Matt's like, all right.
I really want to torture a pastor.
Maybe that's like, yeah.
I know a few. I just don't know if they'd volunteer for
Right.
that. So no, but
I mean, what I meant was, like, I wanted to get past, like, religion and faith, and essentially is kind of where that was coming from. But then Matt, your dad, like, I don't know, how did that happen?
I was telling my dad, like, Josh really wants to torture a pastor. Is that, what do you think about that? And he was like, oh, I got an idea for you. And so he actually spit out an idea. And, you know, my dad's he teaches procurement for the Department of Defense. He's not a film guy, but he was like, I have this idea. I'm like, great idea. And we ran with it.
Yeah. Yep.
And then we asked him for money to put into the film.
There was a pass. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yep.
It's your idea. You got to fund it now.
yeah.
Yeah. Who's the pastor who had, like, some homosexual experience?
It was in
Colorado.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Yeah, like, it starts with the H, like Hagen or something. I can't remember, but that was happening at the time, you know. So the film has evolved dramatically, but I think we wanted to pick a topic that deals with, the film deals with homosexuality, faith and homosexuality. It doesn't draw the typical Hollywood conclusions, and it most certainly doesn't draw the typical sort of, right or sort of, mainstream religious conclusions. It's really not about homosexuality per se.
It's about judgment.
Yeah, it's about judgment. That's really what it's about.
Yeah.
So you guys mentioned Montana earlier. What can you tell us more about the locations that you used for the film? So I'm assuming Montana.
We got a guy named Sid that was
Sid Gray.
key.
Yep.
Was totally key. If you're going to be a filmmaker, you got to network. This guy was like the perfect little piece to be able to make this movie. We couldn't have done it without him.
No.
And he was managing this, how many acres?
300.
300 acres with a lodge. This guy went bankrupt and had started building a lodge. And
Not
was never
Sid,
finished.
another guy went bankrupt.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Sid was using it to do like something similar to what we had gone through, this youth camp thing.
He was building a leadership school, but his was for high school students, and that was the plan for this property.
So you had this huge lodge with no plumbing. It had windows. It was, how many, I don't know,
Framed, it just had
10,000 square feet or
it was
something.
huge, yeah.
And so that was our base location. No plumbing, no furniture, no walls, and that was where Josh and I slept.
And at least a third of the crew stayed
the
there.
hardy ones.
The hardy ones, yeah. Yeah.
We put 2 porta potties outside. We cooked the meals there, hauled the water up for the meals.
Yeah, we bathed in,
Freezing cold river.
a freezing cold river. Like, we plunged. It was very, very, like, it was not for the faint of
Makes
heart.
me shiver just thinking.
Yeah.
How long was the shoot in Montana?
It was like
3 weeks?
8. We were there for a little over 3.5, but the actual filming I think was 18 days. Yeah, or maybe a little less than that.
How much weight did you guys lose doing this shoot?
I actually did lose like at least 15 pounds. Yeah. I mean, I came back. I was physically different.
I could use to lose 15 pounds, so I can just like camp out and I can be the
You're gonna
drink
be in the
guy.
sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can be the sequel. Just run the drinks on the production
There's less
piece.
punishing ways.
Yeah, exactly.
How large is a crew like that then? I know you kind of said a third of the crew.
What was
out
our
there.
crew? I mean, with actors and everybody, it was like 35 or
Not going to count the ones we buried,
30.
right?
Yeah, don't count those.
The surviving crew members.
Surviving crew members, yeah, I think it was like, all said and done, it was around 30.
Yeah, something like that.
About 30.
At that time, it just runs together. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just, yeah.
Now you guys filmed in Montana, about 30 people with you there.
Yep.
And then you did another shot here in the
did.
Chicagoland area.
Yeah, we tried to do all of our interiors here in Chicago, and we did that sort of as a B unit before we went out there. And so we flew in a couple actors, and we did that in a weekend.
The old gentleman that played, I think.
Mike Nussbaum,
Yeah.
who's just, he's spectacular, and, he does the Goodman, basically every weekend here in Chicago, and has worked with,
he was in Men in Black.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He was the president of the universe, the guy who opens his head up, and there's a little guy driving inside.
Oh,
He was
that's awesome.
Basic Instinct, too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Nice.
I mean, he's worked with David Mamet, like several times. I mean, he's a household name for sure. I mean, he's old at this point. He's in his 90s, but he's just an absolute gentleman and a fantastic actor. Yeah.
I remember you told me you actually had to use a box of ramen noodles for something.
Yeah, it's like every little thing. Like, so rentals, right? When you're getting your gear, like every little rental piece of gear is just is a lot of money. It adds up, right? So you get the minimum, the things that you really need. And so one thing that we were missing is like a sunblock for the monitor for our A camera. So the guys cut a ramen noodle box. Like a soup in a box, you know, and they taped it onto and that's what we used.
So basically, you fed your crew ramen noodles.
That actually wasn't our ramen. That was somebody else's ramen, but they were eting ramen as opposed to our food. So that was probably, probably worse than what you're thinking.
Indicative of it, of the conditions.
Wow.
And then we shot at a third location. We actually got a permit to shoot in Glacier National Park.
Yeah, we shot in Glacier National Park,
which was absolutely gorgeous. How much did it cost per hour?
It was, I think
we had to pay a minder.
It was the thing is that it was just like a lot of process, and there's a lot of limitations onto where you can actually film, but the cost wasn't all that bad. I want to say it ended up being a little over $500 for one day or something like that.
And we got the permit, like, what was it?
No, maybe it was like 800.
Two weeks before we started shooting.
Yeah, I mean
when we applied for it, in the beginning,
way in advance.
Months.
2 weeks before we were supposed to shoot, they're like, oh, by the way, since you're going to be out here, go ahead.
Yeah, it was very hairy getting into Glacier Park, but
gorgeous.
It was gorgeous and worth it. And they were excellent hosts. Like once we were there, but we did a smaller B unit in order to be able to afford it because it's partially based on the size of your crew, is how much it costs.
So looking back now at the production of it, it was well worth the investment and the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, here's the thing. It's like when you're making. Well, we were talking about this on the way here. It's like when you're making a film. Film is stupid. It's stupid to do. It's really hard. Nobody talks about it because like part of what makes films go viral is like the energy behind it and everybody being like, oh, it's so cool and look at all this sexy cool stuff, But actually filmmaking is like, it is by far, I'm convinced, the hardest art like to accomplish that exists or has ever existed. It's insane. It's insanely difficult. It doesn't matter if you're a micro budget indie, or if you're making a Lord of the Rings or something. Like the logistics are just off the charts complex and expensive, And you can indefinitely throw money at a film. Like they're just black holes,
So seeing those $150 million budgets and stuff like that.
It's not a problem to think where all that money goes. Like everything costs just tons of money and it takes tons of people who are very, very highly skilled, and it takes tons of time and tons of really expensive gear. Film is really, really hard to do. And
then you hit a speed bump and all that time and all that gear and all those people are just standing around.
Right, exactly. There's like bottlenecks in the process that are like baked into the process of making a film, in which you have very expensive people and gear
just doing nothing and racking up dollars.
Every time you say action, the whole entire place shuts down, right? And there's just this one thing happening. And there's all this, if you think about it as like a manufacturing process, the whole plant shuts down and waits for this one moment. Well, there's actually many, many, many bottlenecks in the whole process of making a film that are just like that, right? In post, in pre-production, in production. So it's very expensive, it's very difficult, it's high risk, and I think the reason that we do it is for that reason, because it's just like, it's cathartic and it's like such an achievement to be able to do it.
Josh actually developed with a process engineer dependencies and a process map for everything. So every step is mapped out with dependencies to try to keep things on track. And so there's this huge long, like, cover an entire wall of boxes of dependencies. This has to be done before this can be done, and this has to be done before this can be done. And we derailed from that so many times, even though it was meticulously laid out down to the smallest detail. It's still like,
and it comes down to bandwidth too, because like you have to have people who have the bandwidth mentally to be able to process stuff, right? In an indie film, it's like every single person that you add onto the crew, you're feeding that person, you're transporting that person, that person is cutting into your budget in 5 different ways, including massive deferred payments and stuff. So you try to get it right, exactly right, and not have any fat, but it's very hard to do that.
Now,
You guys, oh, go ahead.
now, you're telling me all this, and I'm just thinking stress,
Totally.
anxiety.
Absolutely.
Was there any moments in the production of this film where, because you guys are the co-directors of this, where there was any conflict where you wanted to kick each other's ass? I mean, did that ever happen through the course of this?
I think I was angry at him once.
Yep.
About 4 a.m. We were shooting a scene. We got our main actor, Jim Poole, great actor, phenomenal guy. What a good sport this guy.
Remarkable.
He's wearing a sock because it's a nude scene, and we're directing this nude scene, and Josh walks away, disappears. And I'm directing the scene. And I look around and everybody in the crew's like, can we kill you and go to bed now?
It's a lot harder to kill 2 people than one.
No, it is, because, right, there's more bodies involved.
Yeah, exactly.
Mike?
I wasn't angry. I was just scared.
Matt and I actually got along remarkably well. I got snippy with him one time at the very end, but it was just related to just being exhausted, really.
Yeah, and then again, that can also be a cause of conflict as well.
We were totally exhausted the whole entire time. Like, we probably averaged, I don't know how many hours of sleep a night. 4.
We would finish when the sun was coming up, and then it's magic hour. We better start shooting.
Yeah. It was not easy.
Mike?
Do we have a release date, kind of, and also what avenues do you think you want to put this out? Or is it theatrical? Is it a film festival? Where are we at with that?
Well, we have 2 different sort of plans, and we're coming close to a point where it's sort of like in the process map, it's a diamond shape. It's a decision node, right? And that whatever happens in that, once we come to that decision node and pull the trigger, the film's going to go one of 2 paths. So path A would be like a top tier indie distributor. We have distribution lined up as a backup. It's a really solid distributor, but Matt and I would have to be very involved in the distribution process and kind of just doing a lot of work to sort of help get the film out and so forth and so on, which is fine. But we have another project that we're building right now, and we're excited to be able to move on to that. So
Cannibals.
I told you, I can be that guy that gets eaten.
He's not even joking.
You're not joking.
Yep, you're in.
He's not joking. There's cannibals in it. So it's
well, Christianity and homosexuality and cannibals. I mean, you're right down that
you know
path.
what?
Yeah.
First it was faith in homosexuality. Now it's faith in cannibalism. And it's like, we're pretty much just going for the jugular.
I'm going to vet our next guest a little bit better next time, Mike.
You guys hungry?
No, I'm good. Actually. Damn, I had a question. Okay, fine. Next. Do you guys have a website for your movie?
Oh, actually, not right now. But we need to put
Absolution movie at Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
we'll put the Facebook
not
link.
the one with Steven Seagal, because there's one with Steven Seagal. We didn't get him. He's in a different.
We can put a link. We can put a link on this, right? We can put the link.
Yeah. We'll put the Facebook page on there. So that's not a problem.
Now we are getting a website up, but most of the traffic goes through Facebook.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. You guys want to?
So we have a clip.
We have a clip. Yes, we do. I watched this clip.
Yes.
Don't watch this clip at night. It's kind of eerie.
No, watch it at night.
So before we show this clip, can you please kind of set the stage for us a little bit?
You set the stage.
Okay, I'll set the stage. You reel me in. So this is this is related to the questions you were asking earlier, Mike, about like the theme and what the film is really about, and what it came down to was some statements, or a singular statement really, about judgment. But when people think of judgment, they typically think of like religious people, having judgmental tendencies. But it's really fun and funny and ironic that like any person who has a moral code makes judgments, and it's just people who are outside of sort of like that religious framework are oftentimes completely unaware of those judgments that they're making. So the film is really about both religious and secular moralism is how we would describe it. And so you're unsure as you're watching the film all the way through like who you can really truly trust, like who did what. And this is sort of like a point at which things begin to shift, and your perspective as an audience member goes like 3 levels deeper and you start to realize that some of the judgments you had made in the film may have been off. Now, it's not a reliable scene, so you don't know exactly how much you can trust what's going on, but there is a Christian in this scene who has sort of a pat answer that is related to judgment, that is sort of like one of the touchstones of the film. So,
Okay.
is that too much?
No, it's perfect.
Okay.
Well, let's watch it.
Take a look.
What happened? Where's Fuzz? Trix, what happened?
Fuzz. Don't know. Don't care. She tried to rape me. I was just trying to help her. Trying to clean her cut and to fight. Down by the stream.
What?
Told her no, but she wouldn't stop. Said if I didn't shut up, she'd cut me. Guess I'm just a whore now. Been fucked too many times. You know, my dad started coming into my room when I was 11. I had to go to the hospital once because I had to get my hip reset. Mom told the doctors I fell off the swings.
Those people are all going to hell.
Wow,
That was good.
Excellent scene. And I have to say, I've read the screenplay, and being able to see the clip, finally, get a little nugget of what this is going to be like. I'm really excited. Can you guys tell us about the actor and actress in this clip?
Trix.
Right.
Trix was the character's
That's right.
name. What was the actress's name?
Jackie Nelson is her name, and she's she's 21 now. She was 19, I think, when we shot that. And I'll say at that was very late at night, and at that was the first scene that we shot where Jackie had to really sort of kind of do something spectacular in terms of like reaching into sort of her real acting chops and deliver. It was late at night. We were all really tired. We had redesigned that sequence into it's actually a oneer. It's what's called a oneer, where it's actually a single camera move. It's just a dolly. It dollies in, it stops, it pushes in closer during like the second half when she's getting vulnerable and telling about the rape, and then it backs off and then slowly backs away from the scene. That's all just one shot. It's one dolly move, right? And we wanted to get it in one. We wanted to nail it. We wanted to move on. And we did this. It was, I think, the size of the first or the second take, and she just crushed it.
Oh, she did.
Just crushed it.
That was a 19-year, because
Yeah.
she looked like, she obviously is a very talented actress, and she was very experienced.
She's amazingly good. Yeah, she's absolutely amazingly good. I'm like, what? I was so like shocked. I was like, what was that, Jack? Like, really? Like, wow. She's like, yeah, I had a little caffeine. Caffeine helps me.
I think her superpower is she could fall asleep anywhere, anytime.
Right.
So between sets, she'd just fall asleep. You look over, think she's
You're like,
dead.
okay,
she'd be asleep.
she'd be
leaning against
leaned
a tree.
exactly.
That is a superpower. Who was the actor that was playing across from her in that scene?
Brian Pilarczyk. And Brian actually played that character and played Dottie, and he was awesome in it. Like, very different from his personality, but he just owned it. Really good job. And he also did all the stunts for the movie. He was the stunt coordinator for the movie.
Yep.
And the guy's got a black belt in karate. He's like he did a great job. There's some serious action scenes in this, and he did all
He
the work.
blocked them. Yeah, he organized how they were going to look. He worked with us to figure out like how we wanted to sort of the arc of the fight. But he did all of that, and this role, which is like, honestly, it's kind of like one of those roles that you have to nail it.
Yeah.
You have to absolutely nail this character archetype. Otherwise, it
Doesn't work.
It doesn't work because the film is going to be like, it's going to be very familiar to people who have a background with faith. One of our pet peeves is a lot of films that get made in Hollywood and sort of like deal with religious themes. Like a lot of the people, it's clear they don't know religion. They don't know Christianity. They don't have a background in faith, right? And it's just like, they're just creating straw characters to beat up on, And we did the opposite. Like,
We beat up on real people.
We beat up on real people. Everybody.
That is the best way to do it.
Everybody got beat, but Brian, like, he actually, went so deep into this role and nailed it on such a level. Like, he beat the page. This is a term that we use as filmmakers. It's like, beat the page. You got the script. The script is good. Well, now you have to beat the script. You have to beat the page with the camera. Brian took that character and beat the page with his character and just crushed it. And it's an absolute delight to work with.
And an interesting thing is we made it so that every person uses their frame of reference to judge, and then at the end we want a light bulb to go off. And that's for Christians, non-Christians. We wanted to make it so it was somebody's going to have something to judge in the movie, and it has to be carried. And Brian carried his part well. Jackie carried her part very well. Jim Poole.
Who is the guy with the beard?
Jim Poole.
That's Jim Poole.
And what is, I can't figure out what his character is in the trailer. I mean, is he the antagonist, the protagonist?
Yeah.
Is it a secret?
You'll figure it out.
I think you'll have the same question when you watch the film and probably even when you get to the end of the film.
And was the river really cold when he was in it?
That is glacier melt.
Good job, dude, by the way.
Yeah.
It was convincing.
And we were telling him, all right, now Jim, we want you to be safe when you go down this. We want you to go right here.
I mean, that had to have been a risky shot.
Oh my gosh, he just went all in and just.
I was literally like, how is he running through this river? Because it's a real river with
rocks
underneath and like rapids swirling around and through and over.
That must have been so stressful for you guys.
From him in case he got washed downstream, and I was wearing a wetsuit and I was cold, so that guy was.
The branch
glacier
ready.
melt.
Hey, safety first.
Yeah,
That's
We
good.
tried our best. We really did. That was actually in a little channel of the whole river that had like a little island, and so Matt was down behind the island. We had other grips and stuff, sort of at different stages in case he sort of went down, But
because it was moving pretty quick.
I mean, he's just very simply a badass. Not only as a person, but as an actor. And I had this conversation with him before we started. I said, "Look, JP, this film, it doesn't have a lot of money, and it's gonna hurt, and it might hurt real bad. But here's what I want us to do. I want you and me to make a commitment right now that we will not leave the ring until all of our knuckles are broken." And he made that commitment with me. We had that conversation. We made a pact.
Were you guys drinking at the time? Oh, sober.
Totally sober. We knew that it was going to hurt, and we made that pact, and he honored that pact all the way to the end.
See, if I was making that deal, I'm thinking it's like figuratively hurts, and you're like, this is literally gonna hurt.
This is literally going to
be
hurt.
like my nail.
I think that people actually don't realize that it's not just an indie film. Like, films hurt. Like, actors they're not weenies. Like, they kill themselves. It's unbelievable what actors do.
Anna is our character Fuzz. She's the badass biker chick. And she had a scene, actually first scene in the movie, where she's beating a guy.
Yes, I read that scene.
And Josh and I, we're telling her, okay, we're gonna do this scene, and we're like, well, we need something for her to hit. So Josh and I put our hands down there, and put some fake blood on it, and she starts hitting our hands. Oh my God, that girl's got a punch.
It took everything in me to not like cry out.
But there is whimpering and happening in that scene anyway. It could have just been yours.
Well, actually, hilariously, you'll find that the whimpering that is in that scene, it actually is me. Actually, in the post when we were doing the sound recording for that, I like put my head back and we poured water in and like got me to choke a little bit. So like when you hear the That's me actually choking on water while she's doing the hitting. So you'll hear that.
She'll hate this. She'll hate this term, but she was intense.
She was super.
She did a great job. She really did fuzz well, and she was always like, "Hey, well, where's the gun I'm going to use? Can I use the gun? Can I see the gun? Let me see the gun."
You're like, whoa, time out here with the gun. You'll get it eventually.
No, give that back.
She is absolutely just, she's just a hammer. I mean, she kind of stole the show in a way because she's so powerful and she went so deep into that character. The last person was Luke Connard.
This is something that was a curve from what he normally does.
Yeah, because he's a musician and a music star and has a huge following on YouTube and is a very popular guy in the YouTube video blogger world, Luke Connard.
What character did he play?
He played Shane.
Okay.
And so we called him and asked him to play this role, and he's like, I'm not an actor, right? We're like, yeah, we know, but we're pretty sure you can do it. And like, talk about somebody who learned how to act fast.
Wow.
I mean, he was just very malleable. He listened to me and he wasn't concerned about micromanaging his performance. He was just like, you tell me how you want me to be and I'll try to be that way. And we used footage of like when we footage that was like him just behaving off, while we'd say cut, but I keep rolling the camera, right? And he would just be there, and we used some footage like from that. We used footage that from all different bits and pieces of his performance to like really build him into somebody who is amazing, because he really just comes across as being a professional. Like he does an amazing job, and that's I can't overestimate how demanding and difficult it is to act and to have no experience whatsoever to come into it like that.
So he had zero expectations though. That's the plus
that's
side.
the good thing. He was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna just trust you. But I mean, it was a lot of trust. Like he really trusted Matt and I and put his money where his mouth was.
He did a great job.
He did an excellent job.
Now, besides you two, there are two people that I'm friends with that were part of this movie, and this is really how this whole thing is happening. I mean, you have Blake Grisby. I've been doing improv with this kid for several years now, and you have Dayton T-Bone Gregory. And so again, I saw pictures of these two people in Montana. I'm freaking out in my bedroom looking at these pictures. Tell me a little bit. I mean, I've seen T-Bone's work. I mean, the guy is brilliant. I mean, he's a brilliant gaffer. He's a great DP. I told you I'd nail you on this one. How was it working with him?
He's great. He's a total diva. I mean,
he is a total diva. Well, first of all,
I'm gonna need a grilled cheese sandwich over here.
I mean, the dude is like this close to being vegan, which is a religion in itself. I personally don't like the guy.
I know.
He has a beautiful, sweet girlfriend, and that's his redeeming quality.
And good hair.
Yeah, and really nice
He
hair.
has really nice hair.
He's got great hair.
He does have great hair.
Yeah, talk about a pain in the ass. The opposite is true.
A phenomenal job. Like, oh man, the guy ran and ran and ran. Never slowed down, never stopped. We get back and like he'd be talking about the shoot the next day and everybody be going to sleep. And I'm like, dude, are you gonna sleep? Because
you should sleep. We need your brain, right?
He doesn't. He doesn't
He
sleep.
just goes. And the only time he'd get fussy, it'd be like Matt and I learned, like, oh, T-Bone's getting a little fussy, and be like, his blood sugar's low.
Yeah.
Like, somebody grab something for this.
Get him another Boca Burger.
Yeah.
Boca Burgers for every
Boca
meal.
Burger,
Poor guy.
Yeah. So, and then he would put a little something in him, and he'd just go, boop, and he'd take off again.
Josh and I actually made grilled cheese sandwiches for him. Both
You
of them
did?
made
Yeah.
grilled cheese sandwiches.
I
You
should have.
said run the coffee and like do all.
Well,
like,
I assumed you guys did
Our
that.
caterer got called up into the Coast Guard like a week before we were supposed to go, so we hired a different caterer, and it didn't work out quite as well as we wanted it to.
That's too bad.
It was kind of a bummer deal, and T-Bone paid the price.
T-Bone paid the price.
Poor
Yeah.
guy.
So
Now,
we tried to make him some sandwiches when we could.
So Blake Grisby, he's a phenomenal YouTuber. He has like 500,000 subscribers. I have shared the stage with him doing improv for several years now, and he doesn't cease to amaze me. Matter of fact, we're doing a show together on the 18th, which I'm looking forward to. What was it working with Blake? I mean, he's a kid, but he's very professional.
Amazingly professional.
He's always delivering something funny.
He's like a comic genius, and he's just gonna keep going up and up and up.
I'm planning on riding his coattails as long as humanly possible.
Yeah, me too.
A smart call.
Yeah, he's amazing. I knew him from DePaul because I have taught at DePaul for the last 9 years, and he's finishing his undergrad degree at DePaul, and so I knew him from that. And I just invited him out. I said, hey, we'll fly you out if you want to come and just kind of like be a supporting character and come in. And my big memory of Blake is like that, like he's the kind of guy who you can ask him on the spot to come up with something and it's going to be great, you know. And so he's got a few lines in one scene that he just like boom on the spot he just comes up with these lines, and it's wonderful and hilarious, and the spirit of the moment's exactly correct, you know. And then the other scene is at the party at the house, and there's, you know, it's a very dramatic scene, and Blake is there at the party, and I just remember getting this cutaway of him as a reaction to sort of when things take a turn south and everybody's like freaked out. And I was like, holy crap, this kid can act. Like, there's no lines, anything. It's just a presence, you know. And he put it on. I was like, wow, he's dynamite. He is really good. Someone's going to get a hold of this kid, and he's going to find the right vehicle, and he's just going to explode.
Yeah, we needed people to look like they were laughing and having a good time. And you just put Blake in there, and then suddenly
it happens.
Everybody's laughing.
Instant
and having a good
laughter.
time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I mean, well, Blake just has that personality that just really attracts people to him. I mean, probably the first YouTube video I saw of him was "Kiss Me, I'm Desperate," and I mean, he's getting these smoking hot ladies from all over LA to come up and plant a big kiss on him, and I'm like, if I was to do that, I'd just be that creepy old guy, you know.
Right.
Wouldn't fly. So, any other actors that we need to talk to?
I think that's it. That's our primary, you know.
Every person that worked on the film
Was
worked hard.
amazing.
I mean, really, like, we tortured these people to within an inch of their life and didn't feed them very well.
And they'll do another movie with you if you call them?
I mean,
Most
the
of
ones
them.
that lived.
Yeah.
The ones that lived,
Yeah.
okay, that's cool. And Montana's a big place to hide bodies, so you're fine.
There was mountain lions that were nearby, so it made it very convenient.
That does.
We actually saw them on the way up.
We actually did.
Oh, you did?
On the property,
Any
two mountain lions.
any bears?
And the carcass of,
Yep.
of cows that were eaten by bears.
Yep. And we saw. I saw an albino, like a young albino bear. Albino. It had like
A white one.
it had like black paws, and the rest of it was white. Yeah, and it was crossing the road.
Probably hallucinating.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's where the creativity comes from, anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I had just eaten these bizarre mushrooms. Like
I would like to wrap up with this. It's not a simple question. There are people out there watching this that are maybe thinking about with a screenplay or a film that they want to watch. And if I was one of those people, I'd be kind of discouraged probably. I mean, with all the work that you guys had to go with this.
Right.
To be a filmmaker.
Yes.
Yeah.
What would advice that you would give to someone that's either thinking about going to school for this, want to be a writer for this? I mean, what type of advice would you have for them?
Hopefully you like to work hard. Pre-production and post-production are a lot of work. The center part is like, you know, short and fast and never slows down, but the pre-production and the post-production work is long and tedious and hard and very, very difficult. So if you don't like to work hard, if you're not interested, it's not the job for you.
Right, and that kind of boils down to like really discovering if like it's one of those core things that just really turns your gears, you know. If it is, then you're going to happily work really, really hard. And the thing is, this goes back to our experience at Eastgate, at that leadership school that we both attended. It's like you have, like, the average human being has almost no idea how much they can achieve and accomplish. That's the reality. The question is, like, is film really the craft for you? Is that the thing that really turns your gears? And if it is, then do it. Like if I knew how much I was going to suffer in my arc as an artist, I probably would have been too intimidated to start, right? But you know what? Short films are becoming a thing in and of themselves that are consumable, that people like, and they're finding platforms and stuff. Start there. You know, make a 3-minute short film and hone that craft and narrow it down and be like, well, what's this really about? And study it and do it, and don't have expectations of wild like wealth and success. Do it for the love of the craft, and see if it's the thing that just turns you on as a person. If it is, then you can't not do it.
You gotta find the right people. You gotta network with the people that are the right people. You're gonna need somebody at some point. You got to be nice to everybody, because sometime you're going to be like, hey, can I borrow? Or that networking is going to be, that's the only way. You cannot do everything yourself.
No, it's
impossible.
Film is like, it is categorically a collaborative art. It is impossible to do films by yourself. And even the idea of an auteur, it's a fiction that's used for marketing. Like, here's this person who's at the core who does all this stuff. You know what? If it wasn't for John Bottrell or Roger Wolski or T-Bone or Derek, you know, or Mike Pennick, or, you know, any number of our crew, like, the film would look like junk.
It's our superhero culture, which I love. Superhero culture is one man always doing everything, one man, one woman carrying the world.
And it's just the opposite of reality.
Not even close. There's no way.
But I would also say that people don't realize that, like, for me at least, like, the real payoff for cinema is actually inherently tied to that collaborative aspect. It's when you, with a group of people with a singular vision, focused on creating art, and you nail it, and it looks beautiful, and it's excellent, and it lifts, and it captures an emotion, and it carries the audience, and people suspend disbelief, and they're moved, right? When you have that experience as a family, as an artistic family, like, I can't even describe the sort of like transcendent experience that you have. When you do it alone, there is no transcendence.
You just described leadership. I mean, that in itself is leadership. You have a vision, you have an idea, and you're recruiting followers.
Yep.
And then you execute.
Who have skin in the game. And in their own category are the leaders of that, and they're bringing an expertise that I couldn't bring, that Matt couldn't bring. You know, so it's collaborative. And I wanted to say one thing about what Matt said also about that team. The right people actually means values. It actually doesn't mean technical skill. It means values. I mean, yeah, everybody needs to have some technical skill in their departments, and they're going to learn it as they do it and get better. But really what that means is, it means, like, are my essential values as a human being, and the things that I truly believe in, and I put my money where my mouth is. These are the things that I believe about what it is to be a human being, and, like, my values, how I operate, you know, like, ethically and morally within the world. Like, find those people that have values that are the same as yours, and you will go all the way to the moon. That's the key. But if you don't, then filmmaking is too stressful, and relationships are going to break down, and it's going to get ugly.
Well, you just answered that question I asked you earlier about the conflict, and was there conflict, and that answer supports your first answer.
It's not uncommon in film. Right? You can't be absolutely 100% sure, like, oh, this person has these values, this person has those values, and so you have to be okay with getting some mud on your face and some blood on your face, and apologizing when it's time to apologize, and rallying people when it's time to rally people, and right. I think that the greatest asset that you can have in terms of values as a filmmaker is probably humility.
Okay, Mike, anything else you want to?
I think that covers.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys, for giving us your time. We appreciate it. An excellent interview, I think, and I'm excited about the film.
So am I. I mean, I cannot wait to watch this.
Thanks.
So, Absolution coming to a theater near you. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you very much. It was awesome, guys.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having us.
All right.
Okay. Well, that was our interview with the creators of Absolution, Matthew and Joshua. And we just want to thank you guys for watching this episode with us today. Mike, I've learned more about indie film in 45 minutes than I knew in my entire lifetime.
Yeah, it was very interesting to get that in-depth, personal look into such an art house film as this. So.
Yeah, the screenplay is amazing. The trailer looks awesome, and that clip that we showed looked really good. I can't wait to see this movie.
I'm really excited about it.
So everyone, thank you again for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, share this video. Let's show some love for the creators of Absolution. There will be links. There'll be links in the description box below. There's gonna be the trailer in there. There's some Josh's writing work that will also be in there, and also the Facebook page to Absolution. So with that being said, we would like to leave you with
this.
Here's the trailer. Watch the trailer. Peace out.
Matthew 25 tells us the story of the sheep and the goats.
There's something you want to
talk to me about, Jane? About sexual things.
I have a secret. Can't tell anyone. Like, ever.
You're accusing my pastor of something very serious. We have to take a man's character into account.
What is the one thing I told you?
I know what you did.
You know, this kind of talk can destroy a man.
Said stop. And the sheep, they go to heaven. And the goats, they go to hell.
Guys, that was great.
Was it good?
No, that was good.
Good.